because, like, from my point of view, when I look at Subway Art, you're one of that Dustin and Lizzie on the first page of Subway Art, one of the best old cards in the book.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I think that Dust sort of stole your thunder a little bit. Scene stole your thunder a little bit because Scene was more into the media side, like on Henry's dick or whatever. But I think that from a point of view of style, in the day, you had more style than Scene. Yeah, you're the unsung hero, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had money. That's the true point. You're one car on the front page of Subway Art. It's one of the best cars in the book, other than Dondi, blah blah blah. But I do think that the scenes cars are one thing, but you are, for me, Scene, if I could pick, tenfold. Style and tenfold better.
Look at it there.
You're the unsung hero.
Robert, what was it you wanted to say?
Two questions. First one is, how does it feel to be in PFB London?
Great.
Dave signed you away the other day, isn't it?
Yeah, nice night the other night.
I'll take it.
Toenails, then you talk.
Billy.
And also, when you've done that Scene Duster thing in Star Wars earlier on, it was a bit bossy, and, you know, at the end of the day, I always thought you was better than him, as I told you the other night.
Remember I said something big? That was supposed to be a duster piece in there. I know my size is what will fit proportionally or not. When he wanted to go bigger, I was like, it's going to be too big, because I had to shrink it down so I get the duster in there, so I did the dust. Back then, there were too many people like laid dust to actually Angel Dust. So I started writing Dusty or Duster, you know, less of the dust.
I think you actually burnt him on that one myself.
Yeah.
But with the Cap turn out, obviously, what was it? Scene went back and went over it, and then Cap went over it. But in the thing, was it PJ or someone? Someone went over it.
Tell us how it was. How was
what was the Cap turn out with? I would have seen it.
Originally happened.
Boom,
This
boom,
is the truth.
This is the truth.
And there's different versions of it.
Yeah. What happened there?
Cap, one of Cap's homeboys had a beef with Sinner, which was my youngster, you know, and they wanted to fight him, and they were older than him, and I kind of coached Sin and yelling in there, beating the bullshit out of him, you know, and I kind of hyped out. I was like, get in there, get in there. I had it back, and their homeboy's like, come on, Dusty, calm down. I'm like, no, screw you. This is my homeboy. I was like, go ahead, let's. You know, and we went back to Cap and told him like Dusty was cheering on him, coaching him, and that's right, you know. And Cap said, oh yeah, then he's got beef with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Back in the days, before Cap got in all that stuff, because he's hanging out with Common and Blade, he respect, you know, other writers, he wouldn't go over us. But then after a while, he had to understand, when you did throw-ups back then, you basically did them on alphabet lines, like the ding-dongs, like the Wiz and Quick came from. So the one he's on the IRT line, which is mostly wild styles, because you ride long, so you can put more dedication in it. So he lived in Morris Park, beside the Bronx, where it was like the 5s and the 2s ran by his house. Yeah. What happened was when I go to a yard and everything is dark, but then there's a good spot where there's a little bit better lighting and there's a throw-up there. Yeah. No disrespect, but I'm going to go over that throw up with my burner because I want it to come out clean. You can do this in the dark all the way down the line. You got a million of them riding. I'm going to go over. And he didn't care if I did. But then after a while, other riders would. He's like, oh, you know, he had a little racist problem. So it was like, I'm going over them. And then when Sinner went over one of his homeboys and that fight broke out, I had to get involved. And then Cap was like, oh, mother hen, don't mess with my boys. And now it's on. So what happened was he got mad that Scene did a piece with me because Scene and him were like kind of being chummy, me and him. So he's seen Scene going up with me, and he's like, oh really, you want to hang out with Dust again? So he went over to Scene with a Cap throw, tagged on my piece, the Cap, showed Scene like, I'm really mad at you, boom. Me and Sin didn't know what was going on. We drive by, just missed him. I'd seen the paint was wet. I did a big dust throw up over the Cap. And Sin went over me because he had the Cap there. Like, you go back over me that had the Cap. So it looked like we were all going over each other. Yeah. And it all happened in one night because we all missed each other. Sin would come by and see that Cap went over me. And he goes, oh, screw that. And then he went over the Cap. And it was like all night long. All those trials happened within like a 5-hour series.
So Scene's a little dick rider, really. But at the end of the day, getting back to when I went to New York.